Okay, so 8-12, we're going to be using filters in Windows 10. And basically, we are just finding things in Windows. Or basically filtering out things, so you can look at it both ways. Okay, so in the command prompt, we are going to type dir. And well, what is dir? Dir is a list of all the files and directories in a certain folder. Now, if we do dir with a greater than sign or the angle bracket and then list, we are actually sending that directory list into a file. So let's go ahead and display what we just did or what we just put in a file. So if we do type more less than sign list, and we did not find the file. Why did we not find the file? Let's go ahead and do directory. And there's lists there. Okay, so let's just do type list. And there we go. So we just displayed what was in the list. I have more, but you don't need it there. And more, basically, that is the option to be able to page down if you ever have more, kind of like this. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this more from here just to display the contents. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the find, which is find. And this is important to know that usually when you're doing the command prompt, it doesn't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase, because remember it's not case sensitive. But when you're typing something in quotes, that's when it is important. So in this situation, just remember, if you get used to typing everything in lowercase, like I do, and something doesn't work, try uppercase, and that will probably solve your problem. See, so just like I'm doing lowercase right now, let's see how it goes. Oops. Okay, now my problem here is that I did a colon instead of the pipe. The pipe is, and actually I wanted to, last time I showed you the keyboard, but I didn't show you the pipe on the keyboard. So if we look at a keyboard, I'm just going to look at images real quick, just to make sure you know where the pipe key is. And it's this one right here, right above the enter key. You see that line, that is actually called the pipe. So if you ever need to use the pipe key, that's how you get to it. All right, let's see. Okay, so if I do the up arrow, because remember, it remembers the history, and now we did the pipe more. Basically what we're doing here is we are, where's the command? We are finding, basically this /v allows us to take off any items that are directories. So we did a dir up here. Well, actually this was when we added the directory into the file. Then we looked at the file, and this is the file here with all the directories. But now if we do the /v, notice there are no directories here. So that's just one way to filter what you see. And you can be even more specific, and we'll see that in a little bit. And I want to point out though, that remember earlier I typed in this command, but there was a bit of an issue because it didn't know what this colon more was. But notice how it still displayed the same thing. And what it did, or the reason for that, is that it still executed the find command, this part here. It still executed that, but then found this error and displayed it. And the reason why it's exactly the same as the pipe is because there is no need to page down. And the reason you would do the pipe more is if you had like a really long file and you wanted to be sure to page down. And I will actually show you that in a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. Cool. You're welcome, David. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so that was the more. Okay, now we want to be more specific and we want to get rid of all the directories and we want to find files that just have BUD. So here we got rid of the directories. Now we want to just see the budgets. So I do the find up arrow, find VDIR list, but now we want to, and notice how there's a pipe in between these two finds. So just like in programming, you need to make sure that characters are used when they need to be used. So we will do a pipe and then find /v, and then we just want BUD. And I'm not going to do the pipe and the more because, well, we don't need it. There's not enough pages. So we press enter. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. We removed the buds because remember, /v is to get rid of dir. /v again, we want to remove everything that starts with BUD. So we don't have the budgets here. Good, good. Okay, so now we're going to do PowerShell. Let me switch there. Okay, in the PowerShell, we are basically going to be doing the same thing. Lots of separate commands here. The main command is get child item. And remember last time we looked at that, and that's basically just like a dir or an ls in Linux. But we want where object, this is a variable, where mode is like D. So where object is a variable and there are different properties of that variable, and specifically mode, we want D. Then we're going to sort it by the last right name. And this is just like being specific here. And then we have another pipe here, and we're going to format it, format list, property name, and then last right name. So, and basically to find in PowerShell, starting with D, sorting by last name. So let me go ahead and type all this up. Get, oops, child item, type, where object, mode. We want the mode to be like D. Another pipe, sort object. This is a variable, sort object, and what we want from that variable is the last write time. So the time it was last written, name, pipe, format list, and I don't expect, just know that there are a lot of properties or a lot of information about these variables, and you know, this might be the very first time you're working with these kinds of things. Just know that you're not expected to know all of them, and I don't think anybody would be expected to know all of them. Okay, so list, and then we have property name, and then last write time. Okay, let's see if I spelled everything right. And it looks like I didn't. Mode like D, sort object, property, last right time, name, format dash list, property name. Okay. Well, oh, at the very beginning, I typed a equals instead of a dash or a hyphen. Good example of being sure to type it correctly. We will get rid of that, not being so specific. Do I have 2 dashes? Okay, I don't want to spend too much time with this error. So we're going to go ahead and not do that. So how do you get out of this? Do Control C, and that's it. So this was just a more advanced line just to see what would happen. But just remember, just think that you could just do them separately. And yeah, so instead of typing so much, just type part of it. But I'm not going to do that either. And that's not part of your assignment. So let me go ahead and stop that recording.